Will. Okay, pay attention to your notes here a little bit too, if you would. Okay, listen up, kiddos. Okay, here we go. This is the front of the Texas School Book Depository. This is where Oswald came out at 12:33. These are where the shots were fired, right here. So if you look at it, it's not impossible to get to here in 3 minutes. I mean, it's not a huge skyscraper. It's from here to here. Okay? Oswald comes out the front and he walks straight down Elm Street. In other words, the depository's back here and he's walking 7 blocks straight this way. Okay? He's walking down the street again, straight down this street, and he gets to what intersection? Somebody tell me. Elm and Murphy. Here's your intersection of Elm and Murphy. Elm, Murphy. Now, what does he do at Elm and Murphy? He gets on that bus, and he starts traveling on the bus, and it's going at a very slow speed, so he exits the bus, and where does he go? To a Greyhound bus station. And here's the Greyhound bus station right there. He was up in this area over here. Got off the bus, walked to the Greyhound bus station, and got on a taxi cab, right? And he told the taxi cab driver, Waylon, to take him where? 500 block of North Beckley. Where does he take him? Which is at what intersection? Neely and North Beckley? Okay, here he is. He gets out right here and he walks back this way to his boarding house. So he has driven past the 500 block. He's at the 700 block. He gets out, turns around, and walks back to this boarding house at 1026 North Beckley. Okay, there's Blake right there. This is what it looked like. Now, she has a private property sign up because people are there all the time and she likes to make a little money, so she charges you to get in. This is the boarding house. Another good look at the boarding house. This was where Oswald walked right in this front door, as you see here, into this living room right here. This is identical to the way it was then. This is kind of a sitting room. And she's got rooms here and there and everywhere. This just happens to be Oswald's room in the boarding house right here. So you're inside his boarding house. He goes in and he goes into his room. This is kind of the opposite side. His room is over here. This is what the kind of, sitting area is. Here's another person's room. You go back through this door, you go to many rooms. It's kind of a long home out the back. Looks exactly as it did at the time. This is Oswald's room. This is it. Just a bed just like this. This was his room. Here's how big, kind of a stud there. Here's how big the room is. That's it. That's all he was renting, was that space. But opposite and where I'm looking was this cabinet. The identical cabinet that was there at the time. That's where he had what? Clothes, his light colored coat, and his .38 revolver. So he went into that room and grabbed his stuff and headed out. We'll talk about that guy later. And that guy. This lady right here is the granddaughter of the original owner of 1026 North Beckley. This is her granddaughter. Anyway, very nice lady. Gave us a tour. Didn't charge us a dime. Wonderful lady. Here's J.D. Tippett, the police officer. Here is the top 10 record store. I told you exactly as it was then. And here is the you can see the inside. Here is the telephone still there that J.D. Tippett made that phone call on. Not a working telephone now, but they've kept it there for the historical perspective. That's the phone he used. Nobody to this day knows who he called. Here's 10th and Patton Avenue. Now picture this in your mind. This is Oswald walking this way down the sidewalk. He's going to end up going this way. But he's walking this way. Tippett's driving down. he sees the guy walking and he pulls over right here. And he stops Oswald right here. This is Blake right here. This position here is where Mrs. Markham was standing. Right there. Okay? So, here's the spot. This is where the car was parked at the time. Here's a picture of the car at the time. Okay? Things have changed a little, but there's the car after the shooting. There's J.D. Tippit and the dedication ceremony when they put this marker. I think we can, maybe I got another picture of it over here. They put a marker up stating this is where he was shot. There it is right there. That's across the street. That marker is right here. Okay? And when we got there, we were a little confused because we thought, well, that must be where the car was parked because that's where the marker is. But actually, the car was parked right here. So, Tippit confronts him. You can still see Tippit's blood right here. If you look real careful, that's what that is. And this is the memorial for Tippit's sign that they put up later, 2012. Okay, this is the funeral home in which Tippit was taken to after the autopsy. And here's his grave site in Fort Worth. He's not buried real close to where he was shot, but this is his original grave site right here. J.D. Tippit. Okay, this is Blake standing right where Helen Markham was standing when Oswald walked toward her, because he turned around and went the other direction. Okay, this is Jefferson and Patton. This is no longer a used car lot, but this was the used car lot that Ted Calloway ran at the time. You can see where he had the cars parked. He probably had a shop. It's some sort of a mechanical shop now, but that's it. And this is Jefferson right here, and this is Patton going this way. This is the spot. This is the fellow walking, Calloway. Ted Calloway's walking straight up this way. Oswald shot Tippit over here, and he's walking straight this way, and they confront each other right here before they get to the alley, which is going to be right here. And this is where he says, Ted Calloway, "Hey man, what the hell's going on?" And Oswald simply muttered something and headed this way, down this, well, I'll get to, this is the used car lot again, but this is the alley that he went down. In other words, this is where he confronted him, and then he turned and went this way, down this alley. Okay, and Jefferson Boulevard's over here. Okay, you can see the opposite side. Oswald in this picture would be walking away from you. In this picture, Oswald would be walking straight at you. Okay, here is the old Texaco station. And this is where he dropped his coat, right back behind here. It's not a Texaco station now, but it is where he dropped it. Ironically, what is this? The place where Tippit was, his funeral was prepared, just right across the street where Oswald dropped his light colored jacket. So Oswald drops it here, and he heads over and gets on Jefferson Boulevard. This is the front, excuse me, again, the back of the Texaco station where he dropped his jacket. Okay, we're driving, but he's walking this way down Jefferson Boulevard towards Hardy's Shoe Store. And here it is. It's a beautiful dress shop now. So when I went in there and asked him if I could look around, they thought I was crazy because they didn't look like the type that was buying dresses like that. But that's what the story was. But do you see what I'm talking about, the recessed area? And Oswald came and he stood right here. And Johnny Brewer was inside. And he saw him standing right here, just like, and there's Johnny Brewer, just like Blake is standing right there. So there's where he stood, and this is where Blake is standing. Pretty much the exact spot that Lee Harvey Oswald was standing when Johnny Brewer witnessed him. And if you look on the door here, real carefully, it still says 213. It's still 213 West Jefferson. So we knew we had the right place. Couldn't believe it was a dress shop, but we had the right place. Okay, so there's Oswald, also known as Blake Kroger. And now it's a bridal and whatever that is. That's the front of the store. This is the front of the store. So he walked right here. He walked right here and went into this recessed area and then went out. Okay, here's the scene. I am standing right in front of what was then Hardy's Shoe Store, looking down, and this is the Texas Theater, right here. So this is the view that Johnny Brewer had watching Oswald walk. There's the Texas Theater again. You can see it. They've completely restored it. It's beautiful. You can see Blake out in front. Oswald, see this thing right here? What's this thing? That's the ticket booth. And where's Julia Postal? Out in this area, seeing what was going on as Oswald snuck in behind her. Okay, there again is the ticket booth, and this is the door that he went in. Okay, as he went in, here's the right side, center side, and the left side's over here. Oswald, 3 rows back, 5th seat in. Okay, and you can see the police officer in the old day pointing the seat he was sitting in. And here he is, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's sitting right here. When the police officers confront him on both sides of the aisles, he gets up, decides he can't escape, and sits in that seat right there. Or Blake is sitting in the first position of Oswald, and I am sitting in the second position. Okay? They actually put this on the seat at one time, but because of the negative publicity, they end up taking it off there. It no longer exists at this point. Okay, this is the concession stand. And Warren Butch Burroughs was right back here, filling the candy and all, and Oswald walked in and walked right by him and into the theater. Okay, there's Blake again outside, and this is when Oswald is arrested. Here he is right here. And you can see the police car, and you can see Cry of Battle, War is Hell. There's a picture of Oswald being apprehended and put into the police car. Another shot of the theater, and we'll end that there. So, that is part of the trip we took. So, now listen to me, kiddos. We're done taking notes, but tell me where we're going tomorrow. So, Oswald's been arrested, but what haven't I told you yet?
The interrogation.
No, before that. No, not before that. Where do we got to go to before we go back to DC? We got to go back to Parkland Hospital, because we're going to tell you what happens from the time the president's pronounced dead till he gets back on Air Force One, and then he and Johnson land in DC. Okay? Including Johnson's going to be sworn in as president on Air Force One before they depart. Okay? So that's the story for tomorrow.